Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Osiris again. We'd like to share another brief message with you. This message is about marijuana. Many ascribe a spiritual aspect to marijuana, if you will. I personally do not use the term spiritual because of its vagueness, to say the least. But what we want to impress upon our listeners primarily is simply that marijuana is not spiritual. Okay? We want to share a few things to help shed light on this. Now, some of the information I'm going to share with you, I am not the source of. It comes from another source. Forgive me for not revealing that source. Some of the information I share with you, you may not find it very easily through normal channels, if you will. So let us start here. There are certain elements, if you will, that either speed the brain up or slow the brain down. Now, which elements speed the brain up? For instance, salt, caffeine, cocaine, and nicotine. Okay? What elements slow the brain down? Heroin, alcohol, tranquilizers, sugar, and marijuana. And that's where we want to focus on, marijuana. Now, the body also has its own natural built-in source for slowing the brain down. Now, it's important to slow the brain down so that electricity can flow through it. Serotonin, which produces melatonin, is produced in the pineal gland. Serotonin is also produced in the gastrointestinal tract as well. But what we're going to concentrate on is serotonin produced in the pineal gland. Now, again, the body has its own natural source for slowing the brain down. In other words, allowing you or helping you chill out, calm down, keep from getting so angry, keep from getting so upset, or the flip side of it, keep you from getting too nostalgic, too wild and crazy. Well, that's what serotonin and melatonin do. So I trust you can see how very important serotonin and melatonin are. Again, they're produced in the pineal gland. They help chill you out, calm you down. Now, if you smoke marijuana, well, let me say this first, because this is a little bit more impromptu. I don't have this prepared like I did the other ones, like I've done with the other ones. The body has a motto. The body's motto is, if you don't use me, you lose me. Okay? So, if you smoke marijuana, and one of the things that marijuana does is calm the body down or slow the brain down, you are interfering with what the pineal gland naturally does. So what the pineal gland is, what your pineal gland is going to tell you is, hey, since you're using this other substance to perform one of my most important tasks, then you don't need me. In other words, again, if you don't use me, you lose me. Therefore, the pineal gland stops operating. It shuts down. It starts to shrink in size. Why? Again, because you're not using me. Brothers and sisters, listen to me very carefully. How could anything be spiritual, if you want to use that term, if it interferes with something the body naturally produces for such an important function as chilling you out, calming you down, keeping you from getting overheated, if you will, or a little bit too excited and nostalgic, if you will? By smoking marijuana, you are interfering with the pineal gland's natural function. Now here's another conundrum. Many of my good brothers and sisters who smoke marijuana, who ascribe a spiritual aspect to it, also ascribe spiritual properties to the pineal gland. So here we are. You consider marijuana to be spiritual. You consider the pineal gland to be a very spiritual gland. I'm smoking marijuana, which is slowing my brain down. The pineal gland also serves the same function. Every time you puff, you shrink, you shrink, you shrink, you shrink. Not so much that way literally, but I trust you get my point. So again, you have a conundrum. You're smoking marijuana, but at the same time you're interfering with the pineal gland's normal function. Now let's just be honest with one another, brothers and sisters, and let me say this real quick. I'm not condemning or judging anyone who smokes marijuana. I'm not even suggesting that you stop smoking marijuana. There's only one thing in the entire universe I am anti, and that's anti-ignorance. I live my life daily to neutralize, transform, and disintegrate ignorance in me. And in what I've acquired, what I've learned, what I know can be helpful to others, I am more than willing to share it. Or as Bob Marley expressed in his song, No Woman, No Cry, then we would cook only porridge, of which I'll share with you. Now listen to that. He only has porridge, but he'll share it with you. In other words, I don't have much. But what I have, I will share with you if you're willing to accept and if you think it will help you. I'm a student of life, brothers and sisters, so I'm the same way. So again, I'm not condemning or judging anyone who smokes marijuana. I am only trying to share some information about it. And I trust we can engage in intelligent and harmonious discourse or conversation about the matter should this issue be raised by viewers. Let's just be perfectly honest with one another. The only reason people consider marijuana to be spiritual is because it makes you feel good. Brothers and sisters, this is one of the most critical lessons my master teacher, Dr. David M. Berry, taught. We are dominated by feeling. And again, if marijuana did not make us, or those who use it rather, feel so good, we would not ascribe spiritual properties to it. Think about it. Why don't we consider castor oil, spiritual? It has great properties, does great things for the body. Why don't we consider aloe vera spiritual? And I'm sure the ladies, most particularly, can back me up on this. Why don't we consider vinegar spiritual? Well, I'll answer my own rhetorical question. It's because they don't particularly make you feel good. They may give you a little relief, but they don't make you feel like marijuana makes you feel. And then let me take this all the way to the top. If we were to rank what's spiritual and what has spiritual property, is there anything on earth? Let me put it this way. There's nothing on earth more spiritual than water. Water. But again, water doesn't make you feel like marijuana makes you feel. So because it makes you feel so good, you ascribe a spiritual property to it. But again, it cannot be spiritual. How could it be spiritual, my brothers and sisters? If it is shutting down one of the body's most important glands, your pineal gland is saying, you ain't using me, so you're going to lose me. Again, it could not be spiritual if that is the case. So, I just want to stress again, my brothers and sisters. First of all, I have several Rastafarian acquaintances. I have several friends who smoke marijuana. Several people who are very close to me. And I'm not condemning or judging you. My only attempt is to share some information with you. Okay? If you enjoy smoking marijuana, let's just be real about it. You enjoy it because it makes you feel good. But to try to ascribe a spiritual aspect to it is taking it too far. It just proves how dominated one is by feelings. With all due respect to Bob Marley, who I just mentioned, who smoked it, to various other reggae stars who I have a lot of respect for, and again, Rastafarian, or just people in general. Okay, if marijuana is spiritual, castor oil, vinegar, aloe vera, water, and any of nature's substances are spiritual. But you don't hear us raving about the spirituality and these other elements because they don't give you the feeling that marijuana does. Okay, I think I've covered most of what I wanted to cover here. Well, one other point, I might also add that the pineal gland is also important for memory. And I've seen reports, read reports of people who smoke marijuana having memory loss. So again, if you throw that into the pot, if you will, I trust the point resonates. Not only is marijuana interfering with your natural ability to bring about equilibrium, balance, your emotions, and so forth, but your memory is being affected by it as well. No matter how good a thing feels to you, if it interferes with memory and helping you chill out, helping you calm down, reach homeostasis, if you will, then it could not be spiritual. This being said, I have love for all of my brothers and sisters, those who smoke marijuana and those who don't. So on that note, we'll digress. We thank you for your time and consideration. Love and harmony, Brother Osiris.